Down here in the top right position, he is Byun. And his opponent down here in the bottom left, give it up for Kaitu Gaming's. Wait for it. Time. Queens used to have Sprawn Broodling's ability similar to Ghost Snipe, but it was replaced with Yoink. Huh. Yeah, do you mean Vipers? Because I know the Queens of Brood War had Spawn Broodlings and Parasite. Yeah, it's Vipers who do the yoinking. But anyway, this is going to be a TVT, and these guys are definitely not looking forward to it. As TVT can be one of those things where you're up 100 supply, you are ready to push in, you're ready to win, but then your opponent has 3 siege tanks on the high ground, and you walk right into them, and then you just lose based off of that. So it's definitely one that you have to pay very close attention to your army as you're moving around. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit so the music isn't overwhelming y'all. Yeah, Defiler had a very OP Blinding Cloud because any Zerg unit under it wouldn't take damage from from a projectile, which is literally everything Terran had in Legacy or Brood War. So yeah, they also had Plague, which takes all your units down to 1 health. So it was kind of like Parasitic Bomb, but for everything. Take a look coming back into this game. It looks like a bit of a change in the build orders here. Byun is going to be going for a bit of a faster Cyclone, or actually, no, yeah, that is Byun's building. He's going to go for that faster Tech Lab, while Time is just going to gear up for 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions to try and push across the map. So this just means that the Cyclone should be able to help defend as long as it's out in time. No pun intended. And let's see how much Time can get done with this. The answer is more than likely not a lot. Yeah, that Cyclone is already out. A second one on the way, so he will be able to get a very nice little cancel on the base for just a second, but that does manage to finish off. Now things are looking a little bit more equal, except for Byun's going for a Banshee. And Time is just getting a Cyclone of his own, going for a Raven. So a little bit of a difference in the build order here. Looks like Byun actually wants to be aggressive very quickly, as he is going straight into siege tanks behind all of it. So really just looking to power on through Time's defenses. This isn't a really big army, but it is enough to kind of be a little annoying. Sorry, I didn't hear who the blue Terran was. It's okay, neither did I. I don't know this guy. I've never seen him before. He's just some random guy we let play in the finals because we're nice. Byun trying to rotate in. Doesn't really find a lot, but it does force most of the units to head straight for the natural, leaving his main base undefended. We get 4 worker kills before all is said and done, maybe a couple more. Does end up with just 4. A little bit of fast repair from time does keep him alive. As both players do start up their third bases, Times is almost complete, so he does have a little bit of an advantage there as he can jump it over to the third base. Nice. I'm going to come in here, get a little bit of a delay on that third CC, which is really nice. It also forces the auto turret to come on down. The Cyclones in the backfield trying to do what they can, but they won't be able to get the Ravens, but they do manage to get a little bit of damage done. Byun, if he focus fires them, he can get one. He does indeed do so, but time is running on fumes here as he doesn't have any health left on a lot of these units. Stim is completed a lot faster for time, and he is setting up a very nice soft contain here. The Raven, though, is very risky as it is on only like 2 HP. So time is just going to say, to heck with it. I have more. I have almost double, and I'm just going to kill this base straight out. And with that, Byun, he's got to respond, and he kind of knows the situation he's in. I don't see him really adding on a third base ever again. I think he's just going to try and all in off 2 now. He kind of has to, because that's a very expensive kill. Actually, scratch that, as it looks like he does want to kind of stay back defensive. I misjudged him. I thought Byun would go for something a little bit more aggressive. But he is going to take the Xel'Naga watchtowers. He just wants to keep information on to when time is going to move out. In terms of that air supply, looks like it's relatively equal. So the game is kind of stabilizing now, as time's not really pushing any sort of advantage that he had. Yeah, but he is ahead in term. Okay, yeah. More Vikings. Now that I see it. Way more Vikings. 10-3. Jesus Christ. Really to say here, kind of Byun is just trying to assert himself out on the map, in terms of just keeping his army out here, making sure that time can't really move out. He doesn't really need to take an engagement. He just needs to force like a slow leapfrog strategy rather than an all like a blitzkrieg. You know, air hospitals are really advanced human technology. Imagine if you had it here. I mean, we kind of do. Like, you have some AC-130s where you can do some pretty cool stuff. But, you know, I don't think I would trust a random laser from the sky to heal me. That just sounds like I'm asking to get abducted and probed. And speaking of probing, bro, Byun is Byun is probing the defenses of Time, looking for an opening. And right now, he does technically have one. He could have sieged up close to the third base, or fourth base rather. But Time is already there, ready to go. Just a really hard part because now there's 8 siege tanks out on the field. Time goes a little bit too far forward, and it does lose some of his units. It's still equal in the worker supply, though. There's no chance that Byun gets into that main base with those Vikings flying around. But a little bit of a soft contain here, just forcing most of the army away. Looks like Byun is still trying to add on the Vikings as he maxes out. He's still trying to get some semblance of air control. I just don't see it happening right now. He just doesn't have enough. So from that point, maybe this is the right move. A double prong harassment going to open up the wall. Oh, he is right outside of that range of that sensor turret. I don't think Time can really see that. But he does pull back a little bit just to make sure that he's closer to his opponent. Doom drop inbound. There we go. This is devastating, as it means that Byun is only going to be attacking on one front. The rest of his army is pulled back home. Although this is a pretty good attack so far. The Viking count has been destroyed. Unfortunately, though, he does lose his main base. Time going to pick up and gets straight back into this natural. This is just so annoying for Byun to deal with. He's got to focus down those medevacs. In terms of upgrades, Byun is going to be a little bit ahead in terms of his armor and attack. So he will be able to take somewhat more decent fights. Doesn't get the full one, though. But losing 17 workers, he is down to 50 to 80. Jesus, that is bad. Like, he needs to respawn now. I don't know how long I was muted for, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Alright, so he does manage to snipe the base up here. Very nice quick kill. The Liberator on the top is defended, so it won't be taken down. Now Byun just kind of rotating around, looking for a good position to march into. Sensor towers all over the place make it difficult to do, but not impossible. Looks like Time still has those Ravens flying around as well. So a couple of lockdown missiles should be good to kind of break through this location. Alright, looks like he's just going to rely on his reinforcements at home. Walks right into a siege tank line. Takes a couple of huge volleys, but Byun can't fight this just yet. So instead, he is just going to go for a base race situation. If he can get rid of the tech of the production, he should be all right. But he's already lost the base. He is behind in this race. But he did force Time all the way back home, and that is critical for him to buy himself a little bit more of his opponent. Siege tanks are gone. The Ravens, though, are still powering on through. He still has those 2 starports, but Time is still having trouble getting up his own ramp. All right, I was a little bit worried for Byun here, but it looks like he's actually doing pretty well. until he walks his Marines into a big wall of siege tanks, though. Hey, Rushi. Hey, how's it going, my man? Thank you for the subscription 7 months in a row. Now, take a look at the building count here. 5 racks left. He's focusing down the Ravens as much as possible. Time running out of stuff on the ground, so he's going to have to land these Vikings in order to clean this out, but there is another army ready to go. Time. A strong performance here in game number 1, but it looks like he is running out of steam. And himself. AKA Time. Now, he still does have a bank, so he can remake everything, but I feel like Byun is giving him a little bit too much of himself. As he's just going for what's essentially a soft contain on nothing. And that might cost him 70 army supply. Or, no, excuse me, 70 Marines. About to storm the beaches. Here we go. The concave is pretty decent, getting on right on top of these siege tanks. Anti-armor missile coming on in, so they're taking extra damage, but just not going to risk it for the biscuit there. That is one of Time's last mining bases. So he really does need to re-establish it there. Ooh. No focus fire. A little bit of a run by as well coming on a Doom drop. That is pretty much what Time needs to do to win this. And this is the thing about TVT. Byun was ahead for such a long time, but now with this one move, it looks like he might lose the rest of his production. But he's going to do a Doom drop of his own. Oh my goodness. This is the best TVT I've seen in the last 30 minutes. Time cleans up at home. He's starting to get cleaned up himself, though. And the supplies are equal. Again. We're at 20 minutes into this game. The units lost tab. Jesus. Only like an 8 unit difference. You say so. Gonna siege up on the high ground. They don't have vision is the biggest of problems. I'm gonna just try and distract Time in as many areas as possible. I mean, he will be able to get on top of this one siege tank. Even going to get out of there. Or actually, no, the medevac does die. This is a planetary fortress that might not get up, and Time is just going to go for a big base trade. Time takes a lot of damage to the siege tanks, but he's able to clean them up. The SCVs are pulled. A little bit of a SimCity issue. So not all the Marines were firing, but it looks to be just about enough. Byun has the army supply advantage, but he just can't break this last position. Sorry if that looks like humor to you. It's okay. Everything looks humorous to me because I'm a joke. But as Byun is trying to tighten this noose, Time is doing everything he can to loosen it. He's got a good defensive setup right now and an upgrade lead on these siege tanks. So Byun is just going to dive right on in. The anti-armor missile coming on down. as well as the lock-in. So now Time is taking about the best engagement he can, and Byun will be the one to tap out. So if that's game number 1, then we have a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. In the bottom right side of the map, give it up for our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. He is Byun. And his opponent hanging out in the top left. Give it up for Kaitsu Gaming's Time. Don't worry, guys. He is not an illusion. He is right here. He might be a relative. If you're related to him, let us know. I don't know. I usually come up with like 50 or 60 Time puns every time I cast him, and I'm drawing a blank today. I guess I just need more time. Alright, I'm done with that, but we do see similar build orders right now. Double Refinery does tell me that these guys want to tech up pretty quickly. Maybe go into Factory before their secondary CC. Yeah, there's a dog in Byun's base. How appropriate for the Puppy Terran. So now Time is actually going to get a pretty good scout of his opponent. He wants to see absolutely everything. Just wants to get confirmation that is indeed Factory first. That tells him everything he needs to know for the next couple of seconds, how he needs to stay safe. See, I know you guys get to a certain point when you just start to groan in chat. But yep, it's going to be a little bit of a Reaper battle here. It looks like Byun does want to be the first one to kind of poke in. And Time is a little bit out of position, so he will get his CC delayed. Now comes the Reaper battles. Unfortunately for Byun, 2 is a little bit bigger than 1. Berlin was captured. I mean, technically it was captured by, like, everyone. Yeah, it's kind of happened a couple of times. But, yep, going on it. It looks like Byun is once again just going to be going for that faster Cyclone tech just to keep himself safe. And this time it looks like his opponent is going to just go straight up into the same build so that he doesn't fall behind in terms of that little bit of extra bit of damage. A little bit of extra bit of. Banshee on the way, Raven as well for a time, so just kind of showing the little bits of a difference. Byun prefers offense, while Time prefers defense. I'm a German. I would know my country's history. That is true. That is true. She is. She is. So now we have this little bit of a power-up move. Byun is going to be the first one to be a little bit of aggressive, but this time he is going to meet with sharp resistance, as it looks like Time wants to just open up another path directly to his opponent. So now time is all synced up. Byun is going to get his second Raven here while Times just finishes up. And this time it looks like we're actually going to have a faster third for Byun. Last time Time had the faster one because he built it on his I'm forgetting English, but in his own base. Siege tanks though gonna find these cyclones. Very juicy little targets. One of them will go down a smoking crater. Looks like Byun still wants to be a little bit pushy out here as he's dropping his third base. But it's going to be Time who makes the first move. Gonna go down. Oh, there's no medevacs though, so there's not gonna be a Doom drop available. Byun though has secured himself. This is the entire army of Time out of position, so now this Banshee is gonna have a field day with this mineral line. The Cyclone has to turn around and come home. Seven workers are going to go down, giving Byun a nice economic lead, but he still needs to establish his third base. Alright guys, let's calm down a little bit in chat. Let's kind of steer it back towards StarCraft 2. I don't want to make anyone mad and get canceled. Especially not this close to a big event. Now Time, just going to look for an area to kind of rotate around it. Byun is going to be searching for this army, and he does find it. Scan going to go down, revealing to the extent that Byun is down here. And keep in mind, Byun does not have stim just yet, so he can't really take this fight. Although that anti-armor missile was really nice. It hit a lot of the Marines, so there's not much left other than the air army for Time, but he finds a beautiful position. Like the Ravens just going to come in and sacrifice themselves. At the very least, kill those off. The siege tanks. There's going to be no more siege tanks for Mr. Byun. The Time actually getting the best fight, the best trade that he necessarily can here. Getting rid of all of these siege tanks. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Now Byun is in a relatively soft contain. Vikings just doing what they can. They do get a quite nice cleanup here, but they will all die. And Time will decide to back off. Byun, during all of this, did have the ability to get his third base up and mining, so he's going to be feeling okay, but Time does have his fourth up and rolling since he didn't have to rebuild any of his tech structures. Hey, McMurphy, how you doing? Byun going for a bit of a sneaky drop play. He does walk right into the sensor tower, which does prompt the Vikings to get into position and ready to roll. Luckily, he does manage to get out of there, so he's not going to lose too much supply to this. Marines go the wrong direction, but they are still going to try and hunt this down as Byun trying to reposition himself here on the low ground. Now, this is the part of this map where it gets a little dicey because these two low ground locations are super far apart. So, defending both of them, you're going to need to commit quite a few siege tanks to do so. And it's really going to be tricky for you to choose which one to defend. Scan going to go down, though, as Time chooses his target. He's getting a little bit sandwiched in the front, but it's unfortunately not enough for Byun to be able to stop it. The siege tanks do manage to siege up, and the Liberators rain in the sky. That's actually just going to be it.